Hi, everybody. Hey, Dana. Guess what?
Hey, hey,
We're
what?
live.
Gasp! Shock. Have you pressed all the buttons?
As a matter of fact, I have. Hence,
Imagine
we're
that.
live.
Hooray for being live. I mean, it's
I
certainly better
know.
than the alternative.
Yeah, yeah. Not doing a live stream,
Well, being not live.
being on tape, being recorded.
Well, with Halloween and all and ghosts and blah, 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 ghouly, ghosty type things. Scary, death. Never mind. Just shut
Was
up.
there a was there was Halloween recently?
You don't have to work with children.
No, I don't. um, Actually, it was really nice. I think in my neighborhood they did trick or treat on Friday, and I didn't even know it was going on. It was beautiful. I just happened to like look out the window for some reason, and I was like, "Oh, hey, look at that! Must be doing trick or treat tonight." And that was all I had to think about. It was great. So,
So, how has your week gone, Steve?
my my week has gone pretty good. Um,
Especially the bit about not having anybody come up and knock on your door for trick or treating.
well, the only like it's really not that big of a deal. The only thing that is like a very minor inconvenience is that I mean, and it doesn't usually matter because how, odds are like you have a 5 out of 7 chance that, Halloween is going to fall during the week as opposed to on the weekend. Um, so it usually isn't a problem. But because of the convention of, if you are participating in trick or treat, turn your
Mm-hmm.
porch light on,
Yeah,
right?
tradition.
Um, yeah, that's how that's how they know who has candy and who doesn't. Um, so I always keep my porch light off during trick or treat
Right, because
because I
you
because
just don't you aren't very festive at all.
I don't
You're a
I don't have
you're
any
a, you're a,
I don't have any candy, and
you don't have any spirit.
if I had some, it would be my candy, not for anybody else. But anyway, I can't order Grubhub because I always turn my, especially because this time of year it gets dark,
Oh,
so I
yeah.
always turn my porch light on for the Grubhub delivery driver. And I can't do that while trick or treat's going on because I'll have a bunch of kids coming up and, knocking on
Thinking
the
that you got
door.
candy and then egging your
Yeah.
house.
Yeah. And, to hell with that. So, yeah. So, but that is an incredibly minor inconvenience. And like I said, during the week, I usually don't get Grubhub anyway. It's usually just a weekend thing for me. So, but yeah, it was good. I did mark the occasion of Halloween, and you know this already. But last night I did because like I've watched a lot of horror movies lately because we Jason and I do horror movie themed episodes of Late Seating every October, and I try to watch horror movies leading up to those so we have horror movie stuff to talk about like on the pre-show and whatever. So I felt like by the time we actually got to Halloween, I was kind of horror movied out. Uh,
Aw,
so I mean, it was
very
fine. I just didn't.
sweet.
But so I watched a David Copperfield magic special, and fortunately, it being Halloween, there is a spooky one. There's a ghost themed David Copperfield special. So I watched Unexplained Forces, where the big, like climactic illusion is like a haunted house illusion with ghosts and spirit stuff, and so I watched that last night, and that was fun.
So, Mr. I Love the Ants, I'm curious, says that friends did a photo booth on their lawn and got 200 people to show up and get free photos taken, which is cute. But I can't help wondering, did they also have candy? And if not, did they get any guff for not having candy in addition to the free photos? I'm very curious because I mean,
Yeah.
it's a thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to encourage that kind of attitude, but I think I would have the attitude of, I want candy. Photos are
Yeah,
nice.
exactly.
Oh, candy. And I'm also
255
curious
eight.
how many of it.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm also
No, go
curious
ahead.
how many of it was like parents of very young children who are like too young to be like, I want candy, but the
Exactly.
parents want pictures of their cute little, their cute little goblets. They did not have any, and did people give them any nonsense about it? You know what I
Any
mean when I say
stick.
nonsense.
um
That's not what I mean when I say nonsense.
I know. 255 AD says, yesterday I saw a kid in a Ghostbusters costume and I had to resist the urge to scold him because it was the wrong color, white instead of gray. I'm a nerd. Yes. And also, let me just throw this out there. I didn't see the costume, so I don't know. Are you sure it was the wrong color? Or was the costume inspired by the real Ghostbusters cartoon show instead of the movie? Because on the cartoon, the four Ghostbusters all had different color jumpsuits. And I believe one of them was, if not white, kind of an off-white color. Wasn't Egon's white or white-ish?
So because
So,
he's the sciencey one.
yeah. So, maybe they were dressed up as Egon from the cartoon. Just putting it out
But
there. I don't know.
how high was the pompadour?
That's true. Egon in the cartoon, because they didn't get the
They
likenesses
all
of
had
any.
like ginormous hair.
They didn't. The cartoon didn't have the likeness rights for the actors from the movie, so they had to make their animated characters look Elon, Egon, snake bit cat, not Elon. There was no Ghostbuster named Elon.
Big difference.
Um,
Big difference.
but anyway,
Egon is cool. Elon is not.
Exactly. Elon is Elon. Okay, here's how you can tell the difference between Egon and Elon. Egon is smart and he invents things. But yeah, Egon on the cartoon show had that ridiculous. He had a rat tail too. He had a rat tail, and he had like ridiculous, like tubular pompadour on top. It was crazy. Yeah. None of them looked anything like their actors, which was by necessity. But
except, I mean, Egon wore glasses. I think that was
Egon did wear glasses. Yes, but on the cartoon they were red glasses.
How do you just pull that out of your ass?
You know what's crazy? I wasn't even like a huge fan of that show. Like I watched it.
Nobody was.
Well, no, it was. I mean, if somebody was watching it, it was on for a while. They produced a whole bunch of episodes.
It was Saturday morning, and they didn't want to do anything. They just wanted to sit down and slowly wake up as they slurped their sugary cereal before going outside to run around and all that energy.
255 AD. Okay, see that? Yeah, that's also, there has to be some kind of visual indicator. There has to be some version of like the blood over the doorway so that the trick-or-treaters know whose house to pass over and whose house to, to knock and ask for candy.
Exactly.
Ultra Jimbo, I probably watched it close to every day, but I never really considered myself like a huge fan of it. I was generally speaking a Ghostbusters fan when I was a kid, and I included the animated series like sort of in my Ghostbusters fandom, but I never considered myself like a particular fan of that show. I watched it because it was Ghostbusters,
So, do you remember why it was called The Real Ghostbusters?
Yes, because there was a previously existing show from the 70s that was called Ghostbusters. Yeah.
I loved that one. And
you know what? I like that one too. I remember
nearly as good.
I like that one too. I mean, because they brought it back, they re-aired it because it was originally I think it was from the 70s, and then they started showing it again in the 80s because of the Ghostbusters movie to cash in on the similarity of the name, even though the two things are nothing alike. I mean, but yeah, I used to watch the original Ghostbusters.
I had the biggest crush on Jake. I think that was my first crush.
Wow. How about that?
Yeah. Because I mean, I think that would have been before we had TV. So I think that would have been when it was like on Saturday mornings, and I could watch it at my grandfather's house. God, that was a long time.
Well, 255 AD, I don't know. I mean, is it streaming anywhere? Like, I haven't checked up and to see if the real Ghostbusters is even available anywhere. If it's streaming somewhere, it's possible that a kid saw it and thought, ooh, or there have been more recent ones too. Did they have different costume color schemes in the more recent Ghostbusters cartoons? I haven't watched any of those.
So
how has your week been?
not the best.
Challenging.
Yeah, and challenging in an unpleasant way, let's say. Just struggles of being a teacher in a class that is required for graduation and for, I guess, continued enrollment. And students who just do not care, like, at all. They would rather get the credit than not get the credit, because if they don't get the credit, they can't graduate, and it would be nice to graduate, but they're not. There is no busting of butts going on, let me tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, among the students that they're just there. And I mean, all I can, it's somewhere that's safe. They're not getting rained on. There's food. There are people there their own age. They're around their peers. It's rough. But I mean, the saying that we've had for years, I mean, when it comes down to it, get them there, get them fed, get them home. I mean, that,
Yeah.
Education is important, but it takes a backseat to health and safety. And for some, that is the need that we're meeting.
Yeah. And 255 AD with an important correction. The cartoon series of the original Ghostbusters was from the 80s. The live action version, the original version, is the one I was thinking of. That is from the 70s, the live action version.
I did not know it was based on the live action version. 255 AD, I mean, or anybody else. Steve, have you seen the live action version?
I have seen clips. I don't think I've ever actually watched an episode.
Okay. Do you know, was Tracy part of it?
I have no idea.
Will you help me remember to look that up? Because I'm going to forget.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm kind of curious myself now that we've gotten onto a Ghostbusters line.
Talking ape. And those, the little round backpacks that they had, I mean, it was worse than the friggin' bat belt. They would just pull out the most ridiculous stuff out of it. It was just like little me, tiny me just loved it. It was just so, you never knew what was going to come out of this damn thing. It was like Inspector Gadget.
There you go.
Go Gadget, something or other. There it is. Hijinks ensue.
Snake Bit Cat confirms Tracy the gorilla was in the live action Ghostbusters. Yes.
The other guy from F Troop,
Larry Storch, TV legend, doesn't get is not nearly as well remembered as perhaps he should be.
So is that the actor's name?
Larry Storch is the actor. Okay. Yeah.
So is Larry Storch the other guy from F Troop, or is it Larry Storch and the other guy from F Troop and Tracy the Gorilla?
Larry Storch is the other guy from F Troop.
So it's just those. Was it just the two of them? Because there were three. I've not seen the show. Well, if you can remember to make me remember, we'll look into this later. Because
yes, I would.
I'm
Yeah,
really
like I said, I have not.
This now. Oh God, I hope it's fun. And like, if we look at it, it's not just like, wow, that sucked.
Well, see, yeah, now we,
or wow, what sucked or not sucked. I mean, there's not every episode of MacGyver is brilliant. But they're all, I've yet to see one that wasn't fun.
I was going to say, I mean, really, I'm hard pressed to think of any episode of MacGyver that is brilliant.
Well, there you go. And yet they're still fun. But I mean,
yes, they're all fun.
Really hoping. Yeah. And it's not like, I mean, obviously there's no nostalgia value there, but it's like this potential undiscovered gem. And then you go and you open up the box, and inside it is like a bunch of letters, and they've crumbled so you can't even read them, or you think it's a bunch of letters, but they're like, it's ledgers of tax ledgers. It's like
disappointing.
It's not gems, it's not interesting letters, it's just like taxes filed.
It's tax records. It's the least interesting category of human knowledge, financial records.
I will say, I haven't been to the library in ages. I think I went over fall break. I need to go back and look. But I think I owe them a couple of days. But in cleaning out, in literally cleaning off the books in the local history section, you go through census data. And let me tell you, I don't know who it was, but there was a census taker in Alabama who was just like the town friggin' gossip. And sometimes I'll go into it. And some of them, and because I looked at the one for Walker County, which was just a list of this person lived at this house, and there were this many people, had this many people under the age of 18, this many, this many boys, this many girls,
Yeah.
Next house. But there was this one from Alabama that went into this one family, and how this man spent all mortgaged the farm, ended up spending, because he didn't want his son to move back in with him, and was trying to get his son thrown out, and his son was like, you have to let me move back in with you. And it turned into this lawsuit that made the entire family used up the entire family, the resources that the Potter familias had, and so that nothing was passed on to the kids. And I guess the kid didn't get to come home and live with them because they didn't have a home to live in anymore. And I'm just like, do not piss off the census taker, because they will write it down for eternity. Apparently. Maybe even longer. The whole series of Thank you, WWID. The whole series of the 1975 Ghostbusters shows on YouTube. There's
on YouTube.
All right.
There. Well, now we know where we're going.
After DS9, there we go.
After DS9, we're segueing right into the 1975 live action Ghostbusters.
Yeah, and I'm very curious. So I'm wondering if it's Larry Storch and Tracy the Girl. I'm like, so there's no Jake. Jake was the one. Jake was, yeah. I don't know. We'll find out.
We'll have to find out.
We'll have to find out. The truth must be revealed.
The truth is out there.
It is. Apparently, it's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
So yeah. So I'm definitely having some struggles with the Munchkins.
Yeah.
Is what it is,
Yeah. You do what you can.
Exactly, and it's I can't fix everything.
Well, on that note, shall we watch Poirot? We'll watch Poirot. Yeah, you popped when I said this was going to be the next one. You're familiar with this?
Yeah. I don't know if I've seen this episode or not.
But you're familiar with the story.
Yeah, it's a short story, so I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how it goes. So I get to say the thing, and then you get to say the thing. Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Oh, and Philip, that's awesome. Philip watched the booth at the end, and I'm glad you at least enjoyed the main guy's performance, if nothing else.
HB
I
Hagar
love
said
that show.
Tracy's the ape. Tracy the ape. Because
Yeah, like
I was like,
it's in the chat a few times.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
don't know. Maybe that was a sarcastic ask. So the way this works is there's a timestamp up here, which I mean, I guess y'all can, if you get out of sync, you can check there. So we're gonna watch the show, and you're gonna watch the show, and it's not gonna be like on here. It's not like a reaction video or anything. I mean, we are reacting, but that's not really the point. It's a watch along.
You have to watch it yourself.
So you won't. You'll have to do it yourself. So and then we can all laugh at the people who pop on and are like, "What's going on? Why are you just
What's this?"
So cue it up so that you're at 0000, and then have your finger ready to hit play, because Steve's going to count us in from 3, 2, 1, play. And when Steve says play, we're all going to press play together. And then if you get out of sync, you can just check the timestamp and you can get back in sync. But if you're a few seconds off, it's not going to be a big deal, because this is a watch along, not a sing along.
There you go. Nice way to put it. All right. Are you ready?
Almost. 255 AD, not necessarily. In medias res does not always make sense, the most sense in historical. It depends on how the story is told. Sometimes, I mean, and sometimes it makes sense both ways. So it really doesn't matter. It's more about the style of the story. Okay, I am ready now. Let's go.
All right. Okay, here we go. I'll count us in from 3, like Dana said, and we'll watch The Adventure of the Cheap Flat. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, play.
I don't know why. I was just like, yes. Oh God, please come through the earbuds. I was like, no, do I have to change it? Because I changed it on the Zoom, but did I change it over here on VLC? Ah! Okay, good. It's oh!
There's perverted Poirot. Hello.
It's frustrating because, like, I love purple. It's the best color. But the weird angly things do not like.
It's very 80s.
I'm so glad that you like that. I like the font too.
Yeah. And then just random detective-related objects floating by. Oh, look! A magnifying glass, a gun.
Magnifying glass and gun. This is mystery type stuff.
It's mystery stuff, Yes, yeah, Poirot, well known for.
It is also historical fiction, but this is not some. This is not. Oh, bonkers! What was that? The one, with Queen Charlotte. TV show by Shonda Rhimes. Help, Netflix.
Bridgerton?
Yes, this is not Bridgerton.
Which I've never watched, but somehow I knew that's what you were talking about. So unrealistic.
HB Haga, yes, the one with the guy and the thing. That's a great way of putting it, because it was the guy and the thing. Definitely featured.
Poirot is not impressed by the art of motion pictures.
He looks so constipated. Now you know it's back in the day, because they're applauding at the end. Prune juice, HB Haga. He just needs some prune juice. Jeff's face! Oh, Jeff's face! Mm. Mm.
This cheap flat will be an adventure.
They slammed
Well,
the door in my face.
in my face.
Oh. Incorrectly, but you can't explain it.
A false explanation is still an explanation.
You know what, Steve?
Yes.
You're right. Oh. Oh my God, I love when they include Americans. Quarterbacking.
Let me tell you how we do things in America, where I'm from.
We don't call it a pond, we call it an ocean, because that's what it is. Yeah.
That's right. I'm from America.
Garbage.
There's a problem with my lunch. I ordered chips and they brought me French fries.
Oh man, that pizza is so good.
Oh, I don't think you have to worry about that, Poirot. He doesn't have friends.
Oh, Philip, who was the American guy?
Yeah.
Who was he in Raiders?
He did look familiar now that you mention it.
He has a very interesting face. Men. Ah, that guy.
Hastings, shut up.
Stand behind me and then walk. That is how you shall follow me.
And now, if you'll excuse me, I have to get back to my real job at a 19th century bank. And you know, if you go through that doorway, it takes you inside John Malkovich. Pyranders, that's actually For the Cause was last week. Voila.
The mystery deepens. Oh, Hastings. Oh, Hastings. Well, Ultra Jimbo, Poirot did say that he has the very fertile imagination.
Yeah. Just get in there
Toying and
and
all.
bullshit with him for a while, Hastings. Oh, Poirot, you clumsy ox. You're going to have to kill them both, Poirot.
Do. So sneaky.
We're not police, by the way. It's just the idea of an American law enforcement officer in the 1930s insisting that there's no such thing as organized crime is just hilarious.
Adios, amigos. Just poking at him.
Garbage fruit. No one suspects a Canadian. Bum bum bum. A scoop.
Aww. Sean O'Sullivan, certainly not.
No, if we keep going after Poirot, I mean, it'll be for Dana to choose another one because the Poirot episodes are Dana's choice.
My
So
pick. You should know all about that.
we take you now to New York City. Everybody comes to nightclub. Sir, I love the ants. That's great. Remember, we're just two Americans. Let's go to another part of America.
Dun dun dun. Mr. I love the answer. I mean, clearly it was a stylistic choice, not a disguise by any stretch of the imagination.
Oh, yeah. Lee Van Cleef.
And then they both reached for the gun.
We should probably chase after him. It's all right, dear. You're safe. I chased them away.
It's okay. I mean, HB Haga seems to work for him. Seemed to. Oh dear.
Oh, bless you. Detective Rush Limbaugh.
Like, no, he's fun.
Oh, civilized countries. I hate working in civilized countries.
Oh, how exciting. The police are here. That is quite the shame. Miss Marple would be much better.
I'm gonna kill you just like we do in Italy.
See, you don't need all the guns, do you?
The lack
You
of
silly
gunplay during this
Americans.
arrest makes me sick, I don't mind telling you. Ah, good
Oh,
episode. Good episode.
I would think, Mr. I Love the Ants, they get to keep it for a short time. Essentially, it was sublet to them. So
Yeah.
she had paid, for the original lease, and then so she's got it for that time. Although I don't know if she would. I don't know if she would have had to pay everything up front. So IDK. So I don't remember how that was resolved. I feel like in the story, I feel like they hadn't got to keep it because of the connection to the case.
Mm.
So, but anyway,
Yeah.
they're not going to get to stay there indefinitely. So should we play Wordle? I'm starting to squeak. Yes.
Yes. Before we play Wordle, I just want to acknowledge in the chat, Clan McLeod says, Mr. Shives, love the videos. Just started watching Babylon 5 for the first time. Pretty good stuff. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying my videos, and I'm glad you're enjoying Babylon 5. I like Babylon 5 too. It's a good show. Yes, let's play Wordle, shall we? All right. So here is today's Wordle.
The word
that everybody
for Wordle.
that everybody can see. And the way this works, for those of you who have never played Wordle along with us before, is Dana takes the lead, but Dana is not actually seeing the Wordle board. She is only going by my description, but we work together to solve it. And if you would like to play along in the chat, you are more than welcome to throw your suggestions in there too. The only thing we ask is if you have already solved today's Wordle, please do not give away the answer. Other than that,
No.
go for it. Yeah, no spoilers.
No spoilers.
So
Hashtag.
shall we begin with your
Yes.
typical starter word?
Heart.
Heart. Let's see what we got. Whoa, okay. All heart gives us is an E in the wrong place.
Well, so let's go for lions.
Lions. Lions gives us. Oh my God.
Lions is it?
Okay. No, Lions isn't it, but
okay.
Lions gives us every other letter. Lions gives us an I, an O, an N, and an S, but none of them are in the right place.
Okay. Oh,
so we have every
really,
letter, but we don't have any of the positions.
So, noise.
Yeah, I would say noise has got to be it.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh gosh, now I gotta juggle the letters. I'm just like,
Yeah. Let's go with noise. Yes, indeed. Look at that. I see. That one was interesting because when we first, when I typed in heart and it gave us almost nothing, I thought, oh, this is going to be a hard one. And then, nope.
I mean, like, we've had it be heart, correct?
Yes, once we played and it was heart. Yes, so we
heart
did.
Was on Wednesday, which is really cool because I mean it could have been on a Thursday and we would just never have known. Sure. But we haven't had lions, so maybe that was on a Thursday at some point. I don't know. So that was my thought. I'm like, well, but of course it couldn't be lions because there was an E somewhere in it, so it couldn't have been lions.
Indeed.
There's no E in lions.
Indeed. Well, there we go. Well, now that you have begun to squeak and we have played Wordle and we have watched Poirot, shall we draw the festivities to a close? Yeah.
Let's do. So next week is November the 8th. So what are we watching next week?
We're watching Deep Space Nine once again. And the Deep Space Nine episode we are watching is To the Death.
Really?
Yes.
It's not To the Pain?
I was going to say, go ahead, make your Princess Bride reference. No! Your ears you keep!
Your perfect ears.
Will echo in your perfect ears.
Let's get on with it. I feel the same way, Prince Humperdinck, a lot of the time.
Yeah, I feel the same way, Prince Humperdinck. Come on, let's move this along.
TikTok, Shives!
But yeah, so next week is Deep Space Nine and To the Death, and it's a good episode and also an important episode for the show going forward because it introduces one of the fan favorite characters.
So will I get to guess who that fan favorite character is?
Or you'll probably be able to tell. You'll probably be able to tell.
Dear God, what is that thing?
Dear God, what is that thing?
Maybe we'll have to watch Princess Bride together sometime.
That Princess Bride for a Friday
watch-along?
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Back row,
because we're both huge fans of that one.
And apparently, so were a bunch of people in the chat.
So yeah, exactly.
I do like I don't dislike the movie, but wow.
Oh, the book. Yeah, the book is tremendous.
So much better. The book is so much
tremendous.
Better. Like, I think my favorite bit is the end of the fire swamp. Oh gosh, it's so good. It's so good, and they took it away. The book is better in every way except one. Anybody want a peanut? Although the book didn't actually have Andre the Giant at all. Didn't even conceive it. And he's just so great. He's so great.
Yeah.
And he's not, except for being big, he's not anything like Fezzik is described in the book. At all. But yeah.
Well, we'll have to watch that for some Friday when we're both available.
I'll be hard pressed. Yeah. yeah, Andre the Giant. I mean, I guess you're sort of limited in your casting when you're looking for giants. You know, giants who perform. Um, but yeah, he's not a whole lot like Fezzik, but
But yeah, you have to. You're casting for size,
yeah,
so you know.
they
Yeah.
didn't have quite the same sort of camera tricks that we do nowadays. So
Which, in a way, I mean, yeah, like as much as I appreciate modern special effects, I mean, you know, there is something to be said for just finding a gigantic actor and and having
I
him
mean,
play the part. You know.
yeah, it I mean, it definitely took the film in a different direction because I mean, he's not like he's not anything like Fezzik, but he does a great job of the part, and it's hard to
Yeah.
imagine like somebody described as Fezzik is in the book as Fezzik because you just come up with Andre the Giant. He just is the part.
Yep.
So I think I could replace anybody else easily in my mind, and I have in many cases.
Yeah.
Have I told you my cast?
We've talked about it. Actually, I remember a couple years ago we talked about it again. We talked about it back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we've talked about it more recently in the last couple years. But I can't remember. I remember who did I pitch? I think I pitched you Diego Luna as Inigo.
Yeah,
And you
I
thought
could see
that was a
that.
pretty good you thought that was a good
Mm-hmm.
pick, but I can't
Mm-hmm.
remember any other specifics. And I can't remember any of
Uh,
yours.
I still want uh John Malkovich as Vizzini
I can see that. I
because
can definitely see that.
that's another place where they went another direction, and Wallace Shawn does great with the direction he's given, and he's a good choice for that direction. I just don't
Mhm.
agree with that direction at all because in the story, Vizzini is supposed to be like how like evil and scary, and he's just because that's he's not supposed to be.
Right.
But Malkovich can be scary.
Oh yes.
Uh-huh.
Oh
And
yes.
I think he would be really good for that.
I agree.
Yeah.
Steak bit cat. Wouldn't the part where John Cusack fell out of Vizzini's head be too distracting though? You shoot around it. You know, you have to shoot around it.
Exactly. Just that happens, off camera. That's and you don't notice it because the rock is exploding behind Wesley's head.
There you go.
There you go.
You so the Rock's going to be in it too? Who's the Rock going to be?
No, if I was, I mean, would I put the rock as? Gosh, I don't know. I wouldn't put the rock in it. No offense. I mean, he's a big guy.
What about John Cena? I think John Cena I think John Cena should be the Billy Crystal character.
I don't know that I really thought about Miracle Max all that much. I don't think I have somebody from Miracle Max right now.
Well, then it can be Cena. It can be John Cena. As an absolutely jacked Miracle Max. How could he fit inside that tree if it was John Cena?
It's not obvious. Gosh, it's such a trope. It's bigger inside than it is outside. It's a miracle.
It's some of that Doctor Who shit.
It predates Doctor Who.
Yeah, but everybody thinks TARDIS when you say it's bigger on the inside.
Bag of holding.
What is it?
Now, in fairness, the TARDIS bag of holding.
Is that some kind of nerd thing?
You heckin' hypocrite. Yes, it is. Okay, I am confident that there are people in the chat who are familiar with the bag of holding. So,
I'm sure there are. I'm sure there are.
Yeah, I forgot about that. No, we could have. Well, we've already got Diego Luna. So yeah, have
Yeah.
John Cena be Wesley, and then it makes sneaking into the castle that much easier.
Because you can't see him.
Because you can't see him. There you go. Have fun storming the castle, guys.
That would be great.
Alrighty.
Like for the scene where Wesley has been captured, and like the prince comes in and looks around, and he's like, "What's happened to the prisoner?" And he runs out to search for him, and then you just pan over to John Cena standing there like, whatever. Still got it. Okay, yes, let's wrap it up.
So
yes,
you do not have a thingamabob this Friday, but
no,
for those who are members or patrons, next Friday there's an Ask Away. So before we get to meet back here next Wednesday to watch DS9, on Monday there will be a little email sent out that says, "Hey, you can send in an ask."
that's
and
right.
You should. And
Thank
Wednesday,
you.
we'll be back here, and you should push the button and ding the bell and all that good stuff. And also, don't forget to look in the description for ways that you can support the SAG-AFTRA strike.
Yes.
There's some links there, as well as charitylinks.page, where you can provide direct support to some of our friends who could use a helping hand. If you have the opportunity to help people out financially, it's a great way to do that.
Yes, indeed. And we thank you very much.
And we hope to see you again next week.
That's right. Hope you will join us next week for Deep Space Nine to the death. And and until then, take care, everybody, and we'll see you.
Ta-ta!
Bye-bye.